Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to a very exciting night tonight, as it is the first night where RWB and RRL start the German Touring Car Championship. As I said, it is the first race of the new championship, and it's very special as it is presented by RWB International Racing and RRL. They are in the 1995 German touring car, well, Mercedes W202 touring car itself, and they are racing on Road America. Very famous circuit, and one that is heavily loved by motorsport over in Wisconsin, United States. And quite a nice thing about the track as well, it's one of those, it's only a handful of circuits that are maintaining in its original configuration. 4 miles with 14 turns, many elevation changes, many hard braking points, and tonight with the first race of the season, it's going to be many a challenge as well. I'm joined with the famous legend Rob, which does many of our ACC streaming as well. Rob, hello, welcome.
Oh, good evening. How are we, Debug?
Not too bad. Well, to be fair, we're quite good. We were just talking about drinking and the guys on track absolutely pushing it balls out already, doing some 205s. Yeah, how are you finding? Is this your first Raceroom race you've commentated on, or?
Yes, it is, because everything else I've done so far has been on ACC. So it's the first time for me on Raceroom, and well, quite frankly, could not have picked a nicer circuit for it. It's a proper old school road course, one that's absolutely adored by professional racing drivers around the world in real life as well. A lot of the big names in the past have raced and won here over the years in the IMSA Sports Car Championship, in the American Le Mans Series. So it is a real badge of honor to say that you've won a race here at Road America.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I quite like about tonight's race is being, as you said, one of RWB's main formats at the moment being ACC, bit of AMS2. It was really refreshing and lovely to see, you know, Raceroom come back with a vengeance, and brought so many different names to the race as well tonight in the stream. We've currently got 25 drivers in the server. Quite a few of them have been burning the laps up on this 20-minute qualifying format. Actually, how long do we have left of qualifying? I believe qualifying is soon to end, is it? Or is that 13 minutes? No, yeah, 13 minutes, sorry, remaining in qualifying. Yeah. And already we've got, as we were saying earlier on, we've got Jack Camaletto banging in, well, pretty much banging in the 205s at the moment. And going pretty quickly. Ralph Varela not too far behind him, again 205.1. David DeHoore, one of the greats in ACC, half a second behind P1, currently doing a 206.3. Sorry, Ralph was on a 206.1. Clive Brittain, currently in a 206.3 as well, in fourth position, and Klaus Schneider currently in fifth position, just leaving the pits. He's currently at 206.4. So the top five, Rob, is separated by 0.6 of a second so far in qualifying.
It's not bad going, given the length of the circuit.
It's not bad going at all, really. I always quite like this qualifying format as well, because it really gives, it's 30-minute qualifying, track's green, and it just gives you a much better kind of definition and pointer as to where the guys are going to end up, and who's quick and who's consistent. So in the race, we're currently doing 205's fastest. What do you reckon the race pace will be for Road America?
Road America, I'd say the drivers will have to tone it down just a little bit for the race. I mean, you can see just how hard everyone is pushing here at the moment in qualifying, the way the cars are moving about, as Klaus Schneider gives a very useful demonstration for us there. So I'd say the quickest drivers, I'd probably be looking maybe mid to high 206s, maybe even into the 207s.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Just a shout out for Rick Binnisley. He's now the next driver to get under a second of Jack Camaletto. He's just banged in a 206.576. And as you can see on the stream, ladies and gents, you've got his first, second and third sectors are recorded. Green for obviously personal best, grey for no improvement, and purple for a track best time on this circuit. So very similar to a Formula 1 format on your Sunday races.
Yeah, and he's just actually, speaking of which, set a personal best for himself in the second sector, and by quite some margin, I think, as well. So this could actually be quite a good lap indeed for Rick Binnisley. Coming up to the last corner now, up the hill. Such an important corner because the pit straight here at Road America is absolutely huge. So. And of course, you have the massive uphill climb to the start-finish line where there was a absolutely brilliant moment. Indeed, he does go up into 5th place with that lap. 5th place,
yep, half a second behind Jack Camaletto now. That's 206.355. So well done there, Binnisley. Let's go down the field very quickly before we have a quick chat about the cars they're driving tonight. Nigel Wood, another one of the drivers tonight for RWB, currently banking a 207 in 7th position. Marcel Loken in 8th position. He's currently in the 207s. Dirk Gretschel in 9th position. I'm not even going to say what it is. Would you say that's Knut or Nut? Go on, you try and pronounce it.
Knut Mathisen, maybe?
I mean, I could just say Nutty Matt. That's one way I could put it, but no. Knut Mathisen. Okay, so he's in 10th. Our own RWB Audi currently in 11th. Timo in 12th. RWB Rigel currently in the pits in 13th. Marco in 14th. Lovely to see Marco. I haven't seen him race in a while. He's very consistent, and I'm sure he'll put a good show on for us tonight. Mad Owl in 15th, our own resident head steward. RWB Pinpoint, that man who drives a Fiat 500, but he drives it quick. Then we've got Rud Dennis in 17th, Ross Hayden in 18th, just slightly getting a bit wonky there.
I think he was getting out of the way, sorry.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, I think he saw Mad Al was coming up behind him and didn't want to bulk him at the kink, so he pulled. So that's why I think he pulled off. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. Another one, John D. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing John D because he's been practicing very well, and he was my partner in the Bathurst 12-hour race, and I know that when it comes to statistics and tyre wear, he's going to be on it. So we'll keep an eye on John D over the race. Rich Jones in 21st, Mr. Charger 22nd, Matt Hodgson in 23rd, Troy Adams in 24th, and Justin Burley at the back of the pack at the moment in 25th. But again, it's not all about how fast we can go around a track, it's how consistent we can be. So, Rob, very quickly, I hear you've got a lot of information about these little beasts. We were just talking about them earlier on. So, did you want to tell people, just give them a little rundown on these fantastic little DTM cars and what they are exactly?
Yeah, so, well, beasts is a very apt way of describing them, actually. They were the Class 1 touring cars, which these were of the early 1990s, were... it's almost because at the time, the Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft still used the Group A cars, and then Audi rocked up with the V8 Quattro, which was... Okay, it was a Group A car, not necessarily within the spirit of the regulations, having four-wheel drive, so they could still market it, oh yeah, it's a Quattro and all of that. So this kind of made them, the DTM bosses, think, okay, we want our own formula, so let's see, what can we do? Okay, four-wheel drive, yeah, tick. Still based on production cars, yeah, tick. Oh, these electronic drive raids, which are quite popular in Formula One. What should we do with the? Oh yeah, tick. So all the cars had traction control. They had anti-lock brakes. They had electronically controlled differentials, four-wheel drive, and even with Alfa Romeo actually made some modifications to their car for Alessandro Nannini, who some of you watching might remember used to be a racing Formula One for Benetton until he had that involved in that terrible helicopter accident that partially severed his arm. So these cars were absolutely incredible, and Alfa Romeo did in 1993 the best job of building a car. In fact, from Mercedes' perspective, they didn't actually. They were kind of umming and ahhing and thinking, oh, do we want to enter this? Do we not want to enter this? And they made quite a last-minute call. And as a result, I think a couple of teams ended up using the old Group A 190E, which, okay, yes, a good car it was. It had absolutely nothing on these beasts, though, and the engines as well, 2.5 litre V6, naturally aspirated, revving to well over 11,000 RPM. Power output was around the 470 mark, which might not seem like that much these days, but for 1993, 1994, and in a touring car was quite some going as well. And the drivers as well was almost like a who's who of touring car racing. You had Bernd Schneider, Klaus Ludwig, Ellen Law alone driving for Mercedes-Benz. Opel could count on the likes of Manuel Reuter and Keke Rosberg. Alfa Romeo had Nicola Larini, Stefano Modena, Gabriele Tarquini. Even WRC legend Marco Allen did a couple of races for Alfa Romeo in 1995 as well. And the development of these cars was just absolutely bonkers year on year. Mercedes even actually experimented with full active suspension on some of their cars, and I think Bernd Schneider may have used it as well. And going on to 1996, when it became the ITC, the International Touring Car Championship, is what effectively kind of killed these cars off. Just the costs of having to go and race at Interlagos and at Suzuka, and just how expensive the cars were, and everything else just meant that it was not financially feasible for a lot of the manufacturers. So Opel and Alfa Romeo pulled out, and Mercedes were the only ones left, and then decided to go off into the FIA GT Championship. But the best thing about the engines on these cars, they could actually do an engine change in the break between races. Yes, take one engine out, disconnect everything, because they used that many dry brake quick releases. It was almost Formula One levels of having these dry brake quick releases on. Stick the engine on a trolley, push that over to one side at the back of the garage, get the fresh engine, wheel that in, line everything up, put all the hoses in the correct place, tighten them up, put the bonnet back on, start her up, see if there's make sure you got some fuel in it first for obvious reasons. Engines do quite like running on fuel, as it turns out, and off you go, crack on with the second race.
Fantastic. And if you just felt a little bit of a draft then as you attend, there's always great information, Rob. It's because our fellow commentator Martin Hughes has just come into the room as well. Martin, hello, welcome. I understand it's not as successful your end, a few problems.
No, I was trying to do a stream for our guys, and unfortunately ABS, Jesus, got ABS in the brain. OBS wasn't doing its thing for me. So I thought I'd come and join you guys. Look at that.
Fantastic.
A tenth of a second separating the top three RRL drivers, I might hasten to add. But yeah, what an exciting qualifying session. I'm a bit gutted I missed it, to be honest.
I know, yeah. I was just we're just focusing on Jack himself, as he's literally, it looks like he's about to do a Verstappen and bank in a phenomenal lap on the last minute. So yeah, he's pretty tough out there, Martin. He's certainly got the pace,
as you can see.
Yeah,
3 wheels on my wagon.
And with Verstappen levels of, this might be the fastest lap of the session, this might also end quite badly and in a wall. Thankfully for Jack, it's not ending quite badly in a wall. He managed to keep it pointing in the right direction, but no doubt that would have, got his attention a little bit if having a purple sector
drivers
one.
in the 205s, that is immense in these things around here. I've got to say, that's out of this world stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this is also on a longer track than they would have raced on in real life, because the real life longest track they ran in DTM/ITC, as it was in 1995, would have been the old Hockenheim with the. Well, I'm sadly a little bit too young.
Oh, he's done. Yeah, he's just Mr. Camaletto has just improved.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's phenomenal. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Who else have we got out?
Arella, Dorr, Binnersley, Schneider. Hate to say it, guys, but most of those are, RRL guys.
Well, it's at the end of the day, it's that's fantastic news for RRL. Do you know what? You gotta tell me now. Actually, this just shows how little information and research I've done coming into this. Is this an RRL versus RWB, or is it just a joint?
Well, I like to think there's a little bit of
cheeky competition.
There, but yeah, I mean, let's be honest, it's a free for all for everybody. But if we win, I'll be shouting about it. If we don't, then you won't hear anything more about it.
So what you're saying is if you guys do win, then Rick Binnersley and the other likes of that lot will be getting themselves soon ejected from RWB.
Absolutely, kick them out. Do them a favour.
Oh, fantastic!
Nice and safe up here, though.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm sat up here rather than in them?
Well, I could explain why I'm sat up here and not on track right now, but that involves having to carry on the long running in joke that is. Me and technology doesn't get along, shall we say?
Don't tell me about that tonight. Honestly, people don't. Honestly, you guys will probably know this, but it seems quite easy just talking about cars going around a virtual track. But there's a lot more that goes into this than just that. So
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
My kudos is to you guys, because you've actually got yours working tonight. I'm just sat here talking to you now.
To be fair, we just crack a whip to Nate Newcomer. We just I shout at him profusely, saying, "Are you going to get home in time to start the stream? Come on!" And he always seems to manage it. Bless him.
That was quick.
Yes, absolutely. So, for those of you who are new to this and haven't seen the format yet, they are away already.
Yeah, good start by Jack.
Absolutely fantastic start by Jack. Clive Britton, Ralph Arella behind him, still able to keep their positions in second and third. Dave Dorr in fourth, Rick Binnersley in fifth, just challenging Dave as they go into the first corner. All seems to be neat and clean, which is what we like to see. Absolutely fantastic. Nice work. And yep, looking behind us, it does look quite clean indeed. Jack's got on a great start there, guys. He's gonna be pleased with that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, it's a fantastic start. I mean, these cars are a fairly hefty beast to get going, and that was an amazing start. It was away and gone. Clive Britton on his tail there, and a bit of a gap into Arella and Dawn. It's all kicking off behind them. But if Camaletto can keep this up with Britton, those two I could see running away and dragging around with him.
I was just seeing quite a bit of swapping at the back here. Just have a quick look at Troy Adams, because it looks like that's Justin Burley in the background there. Looks like there might have been a little bit of contact, so very unfortunate for Justin Burley. But I just noticed a little bit of shuffling around in order there, and a little bit of gap that's formed. But yeah, these guys are certainly keeping it clean in front and consistent, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. And they look so lively.
I know, an upshift midway round the kink is pretty hairy. I mean, the kink is actually the reason why there has only ever been one track layout change ever at Road America, and that's that they could actually build a chicane for the AMA American Superbike Series for safety reasons, and it's never used for car racing. So for the car racing lot, this is still the same Road America circuit as it was when it first opened.
Yep, just looking at Klaus here. He might have a run on Rick Binnersley. Have you had much time in the seat with these Martin when it comes to racing them, or are they quite good to follow behind, or is it a case of
DTM might as well be talking college to me. Has it got traction control, ABS, four-wheel steering, and everything else? I'm a nightmare, mate, to be honest. That's why I'm in the comment box most of the time rather than behind the wheel.
That's fine.
How's the draft on these? Is the draft really like?
Well, I was just seeing now. I mean, I'd have thought Schneider would have gotten behind Binnersley, but it doesn't look like with the two first and second long straights they've had, it looks like he's going to have him maybe on the corner and out of the exit, unless Binnersley makes a mistake. But they're keeping it quite clean, and there's not a lot separating the top 5, 6 at the moment.
I've got to be honest, I thought Jack, Clive and Ralph would have been gone. I'm really surprised to see everyone hanging on and putting in like the times they are. I mean, I know the fuel and there's probably some tyre saving going on here and there as well, but yeah, I thought
we're just seeing here Nigel Woods drop back into 8th, and you must know how to pronounce this one. I'm going to get it wrong all night. Is it Nut, or I'm assuming it's Nut, Matheson, but this is where the gap's starting to form from 7th to 6th. It's 2.5 seconds now, and behind him the train forms here with Marcel behind Nigel. We might see another overtake here. It looks like these guys have definitely warmed up better than Nigel has, and I think it's just a matter of time.
I was watching him practice actually. Nigel was putting in some cracking times, but he was just a little bit inconsistent, so he's obviously got the pace in it, but obviously he's going to lose a little bit of that to keep it consistent, which is what we're seeing here.
Yeah. I think I've worked out the slipstream issues. I mean, at the end of the day, we are at the mercy of early to mid 1990s aerodynamics on saloon cars. These were pretty good for the time, but compared to a modern day Mercedes C-Class, they're nowhere near as sleek aerodynamically, and I think that might be playing a little bit of a part as well.
I saw Stimo then on the straight getting past Rachel, so there's a space there.
Yes.
So, Britain's having a look at the front as well. Britain's having a look on Camaletto.
He certainly is, isn't he? That is pretty close.
All of a sudden, 5 become 1.
Yeah. Now, again, I haven't been able to catch up properly with Raceroom's physics. Is it possible in Raceroom with the tyre physics that Camaletto can be pushing a bit too hard, and Clive's tactics to just maybe make him have an off? Or
The difference between Raceroom and ACC is in ACC your pressures are vitally important, and you've got to have your pressure spots on. In Raceroom, it's more about temperature. So you play with your pressures to get your temperature.
Right.
If you get your temperatures right and you don't melt the tyres, fantastic. But yeah, there's not so much of a pressure issue with regards to these.
Oh, they're right on the edge. It's absolutely scary when you see him go flat out around that right kink.
Yeah,
absolutely going for it.
It's a proper corner in these cars as well. Not like it would be in, say, a DPI or even a modern GTLM car. In something like this, on the other hand, it is just a case of turn in, hold on, hope for the best. And you do like to see cars that move around a bit in the corners, which these things do. So that is good to see indeed.
Schneider, I mean, he's broken Nigel Wood, I think, now. He's trying to make the top 6 or top 7. He's gaining like 10th every sector, so.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, he's now a second and a half. Is there action up here? Oh, Clive's got a much better turn in there. Look at that, right on it. It's almost as if he's trying to do the old switcheroo and get the better exit, which it looks like effectively that's the only way he's going to get past this car, and it looked like he got the better exit off that last corner.
Just
so,
because while these two attacking, he's just sat there. One, I won't say even a mistake from those two, but Arella can just quite easily. Oh, there you go. Oh no, almost.
Just looking down the pack, we've got Ross Hayden challenging Pinpoint at the moment, coming down the same straight we just saw Jack Camiletta and Clive Britton at, and he's...
What a pass.
Has he done it?
No, he's overcooked it.
Just a little bit overcooked, and that now puts him into the hands of RWB Charger potentially. It looks like he's managed to save it a little bit there.
It's brake magic, do you reckon, playing up?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's so much action on the track. Let's just have a quick...
Chargers can't love that D2 paper.
Classic.
Yeah, there's Gretschel getting an inside, and he gets out on Dennis. Perfect move.
Nice.
Perfect move.
It's not one of the most obvious overtaking spots as well. The carousel. It's a lot of people tend to think that the end of this straight here, Canada corner, turn 1, turn 3 as well. So yeah, to get it done at the carousel, that is very good going indeed.
Yeah, and just looking up the front now, so I'm not sure whether there's been an issue or something, a slight off, but
Clive Britton was in mid-air going around the penultimate corner. He went not really wide, but literally jumped over the curb, and that's given Arella now a chance down the straight.
Having a look, he certainly is. But
Ralph is the most considerate, gentlemanly driver. He is the absolute opposite of Max Verstappen. He honestly, he'd lay the table and put your breakfast down before he'd take his place right now.
So what you're saying? He's not going to send it on one of the corners.
Absolutely. I can guarantee you there will not be a Ralph Arella send tonight. Any pass he makes will be like pinpoint and fantastic and like something to behold. But yeah, there'll be no paintwork damage, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's your top 6 at the moment. You've got Jack Camiletta in P1, Clive P2, Ralph Arella in P3, David in 4th, Rick Binnersley in 5th, and Klaus in 6th. Then we've got a 3.6 second gap to 7th position here, and it's pretty much slowly making gain away from Nigel Wood. Just seeing these two, they're having a bit of a... Sorry, I was going down, but I just noticed Rick Binnersley and Klaus are having a bit of a wiggle for 5th and 6th there. But
it's unlike Rick, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's unlike Rick not to have a pink car as well, to be fair. I mean,
he tried. He did try.
Yeah. Back to the order. We got Marcel currently in 9th. Looks like he's having his own race there at the moment, which is probably nice for him, to be honest, given the other chaos on the field, or not chaos, but close racing. 10th is Timo, 11th is Audi with Rigel right up his pipe there. Rigel in 12th, Mad out in 13th, possibly waiting for these two to... I thought that wasn't off then, but maybe just a bit of a net coding. Dirk Gretschel in 14th, followed by Pinpoint in 15th. And Rudd maybe gauging Pinpoint up for an overtake as he's only half a second. Charger in 17th, and then behind Charger is John D, the tyre whisperer, in 18th, followed by Ross Hayden in 19th, all in 20th, and Rich Jones has got Matt Hodgson up his pipe right now in 21st. Troy Adams being given a slowdown penalty there. To continuing to abuse track limits. Troy, behave yourself. I think Matt might get the job done on this straight here, as he seems to be a little bit quicker. Not this time, though. Not this time.
You say that, but Matt did, I think, overcook it a little bit there on the brakes into turn 1, and somehow managed to hold on keep position despite having going all the way around the runoff area.
Yeah, and that looks like a retire from Troy Adams in 25th. Yes, it looks like Troy has retired. So we'll have to find out.
For a fight, isn't he?
Yeah. We'll have
slow down penalty.
yeah. We'll have to find out a little bit more about that. Meanwhile, John D and Ross Hayden seems to be having a little bit of a fight as well. John was following Charger, he is still following Charger, so this is a fight for 17th position between these three here. Oh, who was that that's just gone off?
Yeah, the
Rude?
flag for...
Yeah, Rudd Dennis.
Rude Dennis, yeah.
That's a shame. That is a shame.
Yeah.
No change up front from what we can see at the moment, apart from Klaus and Rick trading positions. Let's just keep an eye on these guys at the moment. So tell us a bit about RRL, Martin. Is this one of our main sims that we race on in the club, or is it?
Yeah, we do. We do ACC and we do Raceroom. We normally alternate between the two, but I'm sure, as you guys know, since the lockdowns and everything, the sim racing's gone through a little bit of a barren spell. We've lost a few, not lost a few drivers, we just think a few have had burnout really, and we were really struggling to fill our grids out, which was unheard of last year. We had a championship that we were backlogged for last year, and this year we just cannot fill the grids. Hence why we teamed up with you guys at RWB to try and give our guys some racing, because as you can see, they're nice competitive guys.
They're not. Yeah.
And they just wanted some action, to be fair, and hence why we're there. Bloody hell, 3 wide. Here we go.
I think we're about to go 3 wide, aren't we?
No.
Fantastic racing
Jack
there.
just about holding on there, I think, in the Sonax liveried car.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've seen some of these guys at RWB, and they've come and pestered your servers every now and again. I know Clive turned up for your FR3 races recently and stormed that one, and then buggered off with the prizes, didn't he? So
yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, actually, because Jack was racing with RWB only earlier this week in the Monza Big Grid race on Wednesday night. So more recently than you might think.
And I've got to say, great comms on that. I watched all that stream, and it was a fantastic watch. So yeah, hands up to you guys. That was a really good evening's watch. So thank you.
Cheers. Lovely to hear. Lovely to hear. It looks like it's calmed down a little bit up front again, and Jack's managed to put a bit, when I say a bit of room behind him, 0.3 of a second behind him at the moment.
It's like they're all charging batteries, isn't it? Someone's off there. Who's that?
Was that RWB Marco that's just had an off? Yeah, it was RWB Marco. Very unfortunate there, but he was racing hard for position as we were focused on him. But yeah, that's one of those things. In the meantime, Timo has got Mr. Audi and Mr. Rigel behind him for position. Freeway battle for 10th at the moment.
Just the tyres are starting to go off, because I noticed the front 6 is now like 2x2x2, and there's a bit of a gap starting to emerge between the 6 drivers up front. So I just wonder if the tyres are just starting to give way. The last 5 minutes could be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, we got round 2. We've got Clive's going to try again on Jack. Both on medium tyres, but the top 3 are both on all 3 of them are on medium tyres. And as you said, past the top 3, we've got some soft choices. So yeah, it could be. Jack's managed to save himself again, but Timo has now got RWB Audi coming along the side of him. There seems to be a popular passing place at the moment. It looks like he's got the inside, and Audi could even lose it to Rigel. No.
Nice going, teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do you know what? It's lovely to see such respectful, decent driving that we've got coming on the track. I
haven't seen an instant. I mean, famous last words from me, but
well, I'm trying my best to.
You know what? I'm the worst for it. I'll just say, literally, someone's not had an instant all day, and there'll be a 14-car pileup.
Well, Gretschel and Pinners are getting quite close to each other, so we never know. I'm just trying to commentate as curse someone now. It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Oh, I've done that. It's so easy. Yeah, so it's also so easy to do as well. I think I was watching a Michelin Pilot Challenge race once, back when it was still the Continental Tire sports car challenge and said to my dad, I said to him, "Oh yeah, this McLaren, whoa, was right on the edge there between
Rigel and Audi."
Yeah, they were having a race. It was actually here at Road America as well, ironically enough. And I said to my dad, "Oh yeah, that McLaren that's at the front of the grid in the GT4 car, that should be quite good. I reckon I fancy that car's chances for the win." Only for the AM driver driving it to promptly go and bin it on the warm-up lap.
Now that answers your question about because Rigel was behind Timo.
Stop the front, guys. I think Clive's about to.
he's trying it again, isn't he?
Now he's down the other side.
Oh, is he going to do a switch?
Here we go. Jack just twitched on the corner there, under acceleration.
Well done.
And still just about holds on to the lead.
It looks like Clive lifted off, didn't he, to avoid a bit of a contact there.
Yeah.
And was that a cheeky little wiggle between them both? I saw Jack wiggle. I saw Clive wiggle.
almost
I love it.
Bruce Grobbelaar-esque. So that's an old footballing reference.
There'll be a beer after the race. It won't be anything other than that.
Well, the nice thing is it's not like the weaving that Charger did to me down in Circuit de Catalunya when I was trying to overtake him on the straight, and then next minute he's weaving left and right. And I remember I asked him a question. I said, "What the hell were you doing there?" "Oh, I weaved to let you know that you can blue flag overtake me." I was like, "No, you didn't."
Just slow down next time. It's easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, love it. So Binnesley and Klaus has pretty much kept this battle going the entire way. We've got a minute to go in the first race. And after this minute, you get one 20-minute race. The next race after this will be a 40-minute race. The positions on this first race determines where they start on the second race. So this is going to be interesting. John D's just taking position. Yes, it is. Yes.
Oh wow.
That's
Okay.
Right.
I'll get yourself another beer.
Yeah, I know, right? So John D just taking position 15 fair from pinpoint, and this is going to be interesting because Mr. Charger is going to try and there's no love lost between Charger and pinpoint when it comes to competition, especially if Charger can finish ahead of pinpoint. He will not hear the last of it. But Pinners is he's going to go on the inside of John D on the first corner, and who's going to outbrake? Who's going to give each other space?
That's
pretty clean. Yeah, pretty clean there. As long as John can get back on the track.
Turn 2 won't be though.
No, all the meantime, you know, this man is in 17th, waiting to see what happens here, and it's going to be interesting. I think they could go. I think we could have a 3 abreast in a minute on this next corner. Oh, maybe not. Charger's going for it. Yeah, that's pretty respectful. Pretty good racing there. So it looks to me like
couple more corners.
Yeah, a couple more corners, and will Clive do anything? It sounds like he's not the kind of driver to put one on the inside for the last few corners, but these two have definitely left the pack. Ralph's a second and a half away from him now, so.
I wonder if there's anything, the fact that the first 3 are all on mediums, whether that'll play anything into race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd think it, yeah. You'd like to think so. Jack Camaletto coming down the main straight with Clive, literally 0.3 behind him. Maybe a little bit of a weave, maybe a little bit of flash. Well done, you two, first and second place. Ralph coming in 4th place, and Dave Dorr behind in 5th. Klaus 6th. Rick Binnesley Klaus in 5th, Rick in 6th. Nigel 7th, just passing the line. Marcel in 8th. Good racing. Rigel gets 9th and Timo in 10th. So I wonder if something happened there between Timo and Audi, because Madow's now in 11th. Dirk is right behind Madow into 12th. 6 seconds now behind his Audi. So I'm guessing something did happen. Pinpoint, John D in Charger for 14th, 15th, 16th. Followed by Mr. Allwyn in 17th. Ross Hayden in 18th. Rich Jones in 19th.
Oh,
Rude Dennis in 20th. Matt Hodgson 21st. Marco just coming in the finish line 22nd. And Justin Burley,
come on,
as
Justin.
I said,
Come on,
as I said, you don't have to be quick. You're consistent and you're not last. So 23rd position. Not too sure what happened to. I'm guessing it was Nut that had the. Was it? No, it was Timo that was behind.
Yeah,
that
Nut was running behind Bino, wasn't he?
Yeah.
There, then.
Interesting. Very interesting. So so that was top 3 RRL, wasn't it? Very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah, we're not doing that though, are we?
No,
Or are we?
no,
No, we're not.
Bastards.
No, okay.
Bastards. Oh dear. So just get onto YouTube quickly. Neek, we kind of told you a top 3 answer to your question there. It was Jack, Clive, and Ralph.
Shout out to Ralph as well. Fastest lap in there as well with a, what did he have? A 2:06.6. So nice
Yeah.
That's about what I predicted in qualifying then, mid to high 206s.
Absolutely. Right, so we've got checkered flag, a little bit of a wait, and I don't know if there's a quick. I'm hoping there's a quick practice session or a warm up because I need to go to the loo.
I'm sure we can carry you if you can't. Don't worry.
Yeah, always use a bucket.
Go have a quick shake. We'll be all right.
Just still waiting on the loading screen, and oh, there we go.
Server switching. I have to hang on a second.
No worries.
So 4 races in this season. It's gonna be a nice, quick, sharp one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got some cracking tracks there as well. I've seen Watkins Glen on the calendar, and that's going to be another track similar to this. So, really looking forward to seeing how the DTM cars race around the Glen. And then, of course, we've got Hockenheim as well, and then Autodrome Most in the Czech Republic, which up until this year had been heard of by anyone who plays Raceroom Racing Experience, and that's about it. And then the WT is brilliant circuit, and got quite a big international event this year as well in the FIA WTCR series. Needed to quickly chuck some rounds into the calendar to get it calendar up to a reasonable length, and instead of going to Brno, where just about every other series would have gone, they were like, oh no, there's another track in the Czech Republic that's just as good. So we're going to go and race here instead.
It's a cracking car for touring cars as well. It's everything. It's got everything. Most. It's a really good track. We did the FR3s there not so long ago. Fantastic little track to race around there.
Yeah, definitely a very underrated circuit in Europe as well. So that is going to be a cracking season of racing in the 695. Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft.
Oh, stop it. You're turning me on, man.
Yeah, how can you do that? Just go away.
I mean, ich spreche sehr kleines bisschen Deutsch, aber mein Deutsch ist sehr schlecht, so.
Right, okay. What did you just
like
say?
You've got Seb Vettel in the commentary box, isn't it?
Yeah. So while we're waiting, I mean, I've never been so excited for a Formula One finale because predictions. Come on, let's get them out in the open now.
I've had so many rows on Facebook, Twitter, God knows what this week about last week. It was mental pain, honestly. Some people who are armchair fans, some people know a little bit about F1, and then some people know too much about F1. In the end, I had to just give up. It was too much. It was too hard.
It's quite funny because on another Discord server, I'm in the moderators are in shot.
I've got the race up on my screen, and they're lining up already.
Oh, are they?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still looking at the refresh server list.
Yeah, this is a point when I might need to shout at Nate. I'm just shouting at him now in private message.
Oh, okay.
Race two's off, and I don't mean to. Camaletto, Arella, and Britain were on 1, 2, 3. So
yeah. Well, it sounds like we should be racing right now and seeing Road America race, but I think what's happened is it's kicked the stream PC or put the stream PC out of Raceroom, and we've not joined it again, which is
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Nate's on it now. This was multiple spamming Nate just a minute ago in PM, saying Nate, something's happened.
we need to speak to the stewards as well. Like I said, because there's no reverse grid. Camaletto, Arella, and Britain are out in front in race 2. So.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, when I think race 1's finished, determined their positions in race 2.
I see.
So yeah, sorry, it wasn't a reverse grid.
That's my bad. Then I just took it as reverse grid.
And we're showing a practice session here of 1 hour, and now we are back to the race with Jack Camaletto in the lead.
Jack, that's Jack. There we go.
And there's Jack. They're having a massive moment on the curb at the exit of the kink there.
I've got to say, the start of the race near the back of the grid wasn't quite as clean as it was in race 1. There was a few accidents at the back involving red Dame cars, I think, Lime cars.
Okay. Only 22 starters on the second race, which is a shame to see. Yeah.
Timo
Not
out
too
already.
sure.
Him in the pits. So I know Timo's out already.
Timo already? He's not. Yeah, he must be, because he's not showing on the track order list that we've got here. So that's a massive shame that Timo's not on there. Just looking at
Curve issue, because I've got sat on the grid when everyone's driving through.
Okay.
So whether disconnection or something, but.
Yeah, it is also saying in the director that it's a 56 minutes of racing to go, but I'm pretty sure that's not correct. I hope that's not correct anyway, or the guys are going to get very, very screwed with fuel.
Well, the screen I'm watching says 37. I've got a different feed to you guys, so I think
Good.
all right on the race.
Good. I tell you who might not be all right is Jack with Ralph behind him this time. He had Clive all race last race, and now Jack's giving him a bit of a poke as well. So
the worst thing for Clive Britton and for Jack, because Jack knows that Ralph will just sit there all race waiting for him to make one error, and then Clive's sitting there thinking Ralph's never going to make an error. So I'm not sure who I'd like to be in that three.
Looks like Charger has had to go into the pits, which is very, very unfortunate. It's showing that he has got a little bit of damage to the car. So I'm assuming he's going to go in, repair that damage, and get back out onto track. But that is going to really hinder his racing as we look onto Dirk and Marco for 13th position, with Mad Al just in front of them. So these three fighting for 12th, at the moment. And Dirk certainly wants that position back from Mad Al, but Mad Al took a few previous corners ago. And is he going to
drive in the field that's actually on soft tyres here? And a couple of guys are on mediums, rather, apart from Matt Hodgson at the back who's on hards, and Timo's on hards as well.
So how long roughly are these tyres supposed to be lasting?
Well, we saw in the first race, but I think the softs were just dropping off after 20 minutes.
Right. Okay.
Yes, the mediums are. Well, who knows your race room? I mean, some of the tyres aren't you? But
yeah, looking at Dirk now, he's going to try and get the slipstream and overtake Mad. He seems to be very confident on the braking. So will he get him into his first corner? He's got the inside, but just had a little bit more drive. Did our Al, but that's not to say.
Off tyres, they're not much quicker than the mediums until you push, and if you're on a real good push lap, they do give you that extra grip. So that's where the pace comes from with the soft tyre. You've really got to... Oh, Jack's got at the front. He spun it. I'm not sure he got touched.
No. No, yeah.
Barrier.
Just trying to get hold of Jack now. Oh, no, that is really, really sad to see. I did see...
The three of them, Jack, Ralph and Clive, just went into that corner, and Ralph was close, but I think if Ralph would have touched him, people waiting for him.
Oh, that's such a shame. Yeah, that's not good.
So I'm guessing Ralph didn't touch him, and that's so I'd be surprised if he did. I'm guessing Jack just got on the gas too early.
Yeah.
Just got to wait for that mistake, and that's what Ralph does to you, unfortunately.
These guys have just been like really. I mean, they're racing their asses off here. You know, that they are racing on the limit every single lap. I mean, you can see the cars twitching and as they're right perfect on the throttle. So, yeah, I guess it's one of those things. These don't have ABS or these cars have no assist, do they?
I think they've got ABS, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, because in real life they would have had, well, just about pretty much anything and everything.
Okay.
ABS, traction control, paddle shifts.
Good
Yeah, they
obviously not damaged though, because he's still managing to move that thing around pretty sharpish.
Oh yeah, he's already gained massively on Rich. So, as they say, the race is not over yet for Mr. Camaletto. He can still make a lot of headway, especially looking slightly up the field. Guess what? Dirk's going for it again, and guess what, Mad Al? I think you are going to be taken, which he is. Yeah. Lovely jubbly.
Well, it really comes into play and really push it into that corner.
Yeah, and now Dirk can get in position, take the corner right, and get the drive out of it. And now Al has got the good old Marco right up his puppet pipe. Just watching the rear view of Mad at the moment. Is Marco going to be able to do it? Nah, he's not going to. He was thinking about it, but...
Battles all the way through the field. Schneider and Dora having it off. Finnisley and...
Yeah. Crikey.
Nigel's just taken Rigel for 7th position. And again, Rigel and Audi fighting away too. As you said, it's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, Mr. Camaletto now up into 15th position, taking Rich. And our current leader, Ralph, has Clive behind him. And just makes you wonder, does Clive need to pull something out of the bag and just be a little bit more aggressive to get that win?
Like this till the pit stops, and then it'll be handbags, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So when do you predict they'll be pitting in the race?
Well, the normal tactics with Raceroom, depending on how many tyres you need, would be fill it up to the brim to start with, race as long as you can, and then change probably the fronts or the rears, depending on which ones are wearing, for the quickest stop, and then get off again. Tyre change about, I think, about 15 seconds per axle, so... Right. And I'm guessing they'll only change 2. I mean, the only problem with changing 2 is it does really unbalance the car.
Yeah, I think Clive might have just answered my question about is he going to get his elbows out of it, because got into the first corner. Sorry, oh dear.
Side by side, and Ralph still holding on to the lead as they come into turn 2 and heading out to the corner now to this long.
The thing
I was going to say straight, it's not.
Ralph will never make a mistake. He is as solid as you like. He's almost the quickest driver at RRL, if not the quickest, but he is the absolutely most consistent. And that's why I think he's got 7 championships with us. He's our most successful driver. And it's not through outright pace, though he is obviously very quick. It is literally through consistency.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, I am alive. I was just having a massive coughing fit as there is some fantastic racing going on between those two. It's interesting what you say as well, obviously, about Ralph's consistency and the titles he currently has, as we see Marcel and...
That's Marcel and Binnesley.
Yeah, Marcel and Binnesley. Binnesley just getting into 5th, but that won't stop Marcel from hunting him down for sure. I'm loving this. It's the first Raceroom race I've I've been privileged to commentate on and watch for a long time, so it makes you appreciate when you put the cars, when you put them all in all the same car. It makes you appreciate just how brilliant these guys are at racing, and yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And also the thing with these Class 1 touring cars, unlike the more recent Class 1 touring cars used at the up until last season in DTM, is that these don't have about 500 million bits of carbon fibre wing hanging off them, and you can actually follow each other.
Just reading the chat, Charger out. Basically missed the braking point in the front of his car and couldn't fix it in the pit, so that's Charger out of the race, unfortunately.
Oh, Charger. No.
No, indeed. But yes.
9. 9?
They're still at it. I say they're still at it, you're still at it.
I love behind Binners and Leckham, Wood, Audi and Rigel all in the same liveries in 7th, 8th and 9th. That's lovely. It's great to watch, especially with the 2 dime cars in front as well. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and Mr. Camaletto now into 14th, hunting down RWB Marco. And I would imagine, Clive and Ralph both going into a corner together. It's gonna get really peachy between these two. It's absolutely fantastic to watch them trading blows. It's just such a shame we haven't got Camaletto up there as well. But
do you know what? Clive was flashing his lights. I know you guys hate the light flashing, but honestly, with these guys, that was a kiss. It wasn't anger. That was actually a kiss.
Yeah, I must admit, when we do the Constructors Championships on Tuesdays in ACC, I've told my team, being the team principal for it, you know what, guys, if you want to flash your lights, just a cheeky flash every now and then as your teammates and that. So yeah, I probably shouldn't say that. I'll probably get told off now. But it's true, isn't it? You got to be able to communicate with each other.
Yeah, something else to look out for during the
almost
Tuesday
on a
nights.
steel bar behind Ralph here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been glued together. Look at this, absolutely fantastic.
And this is something you should show drivers in the junior formula, to show them this is how you race between 2 drivers without having to resort to brake testing people and generally crashing into them, unlike some Formula 1 drivers who may or may not be racing this weekend at Abu Dhabi.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a case of I don't think a lot of sim racers understand you can catch somebody and not be able to pass them. That's part of the skill, is getting past them. You don't just, like, as soon as you catch them, send it. That's not what it's about. It's catching them, watching them, waiting for them to make a mistake, where they make the mistake, and then making the move. You don't have to get it done in 3 corners once you've caught them.
Yeah, absolutely. Guess what? We said that Mr. Gretschel is going to be right behind Pinpoint, and so are 4 or 5 other cars, including Mr. Camaletto on the back of his train in 14th. So this is... I know we've got a battle in first at the moment, but this is about to be a very interesting coming together.
On the front, guys, you keep your eye on that train. That looks good.
Cheers, thank you very much. Currently, he's 6.5 seconds behind Rigel, so yeah, the guys behind him are starting to have a little bit of a look. But so far, yeah, I just saw that.
You're going to be a second or so we'll soon catch that back up.
Yeah, and he is falling back and adhering to it. So, wow, these guys. You got RWB Pinpoint, Dirk Gretschel, Mad Al, Nigel Wood, Marco, and Jack. Jack has already caught back up with Marco and is right on his tail. These guys are absolutely neck and neck. I don't even think Marco knows where Jack was fighting for, because he's certainly not making it easy for him. But I'm pretty sure in the next few corners, Jack will get the job done and get past Marco, which is still fighting Nigel Wood as well for 12. Well.
Proper touring car racing as Jack goes a little bit wide there. Yeah.
This is entertainment alone here, this train. It's times like this when you are doing these sim racing events, when you're in the position Pinpoint's in and you can see behind you exactly what you've got, even if you're looking at your onboard HUDs.
Written side by side into turn 1.
It's times like this, there's just total panic. Dirt going into the pits, which is interesting. So just quickly having a look at Ralph and Clive.
Yeah, Clive was catching down the straight, got side by side, and obviously lost the draft and couldn't make it stick through turn 1. And it's as you were, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately for Clive anyway.
Yeah. Jack Camaletto getting himself back into 11th position now, past Nigel Wood.
Might get it done this time. Sorry, into 3.
Yeah, nicely done there. Ooh, and he's done it.
Oh,
he's
well
done it.
Well done. Is Ralph going to fight back? Is he going to manage to get that position back?
There's a lot about the liveries on these cars.
I imagine Ralph will stick right behind it now.
Yeah.
Until the fit stops.
It does say a lot about the liveries on these cars, though, that they still look good even though they're all older than I am. Yeah.
No, I had a C-Class as a company car back then. I'll show you my age. And it never drove like this, I've got to be honest. It was a tank.
Yep, back when Mercedes were renowned for their build quality, something which they weren't renowned for in the early 2000s, it must be said.
Partner at the time fell asleep at the wheel, unfortunately, and wrote it off. But, she was absolutely fine.
Oh, that's, yeah, I'm glad she was fine.
Yeah.
So originally these Mercedes-Benzes, when they were in the German touring group in 1993, the 190E was basically fighting against the Alfa Romeos, and they lost the fight. So Mercedes being Mercedes, they took the car, and you know, as Rob was saying at the beginning, they basically introduced the W202 C-Class sedan, carried over from a production road car, and just absolutely turned it into an animal. So
how were they fighting? Was it a 155 they were fighting, I guess, back then, was it?
And it was a V6 155 Ti. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what they were fighting.
Yeah.
And Mercedes being Mercedes, when they lost, they didn't take that very well. So they stripped the C-Class sedan and
rebuild the whole thing out of carbon fibre.
Yeah.
And for 1995, just to make them even less like touring cars, they were allowed to you don't have to use the stock suspension points anymore, as Rigel and Audi are still battling away here. And Rigel gets the position there as well. Very nicely done indeed. And yeah, it's like looking at the 1996 Opel Calibra and even the 1997 Opel Calibra that never raced, and especially the 1997 car, it was more akin to what we kind of think of as a more recent DTM car, in that it was used maybe the basic silhouettes of the road car, a sticker where the badge was, maybe a door handle, and that was about it.
Just news up front, Dawes got past Schneider now, and Lecken's got past Binnersley as well, so those guys have changed position, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah, and Camaletto is now chasing down RWB, Audi and Rigel, that have been having their own little fight. So where was Jack? Jack went down into 17th or 18th, didn't he? Yeah. So in the space of 10...
He's got 6 seconds of clear track in front of him now, so start putting his foot down a bit.
Yeah, his last lap was a 207.7. So he's lapping in the same times as P1 and P2. The guys in front of him are lapping in 209s, so he's lapping almost 2 seconds quicker than the guys in front of him, and a second quicker than P3 and P4. So I tell you what, he's going to get a podium this evening. Whether
sixes, I mean, it was a high 206, don't get me wrong, but he's the only one to hit that mark so far in the race. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's driving phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Just checking. So Audi and Nigel would have just gone into the pits. I'm pleased about that. I thought for a second that was a retirement.
Yeah, Hayden's in as well by the looks of it, so they're all starting to come for their tyre change right at halfway in the race as well. So
yeah, lap 10 into the race, 10 laps into the race. John D still fighting Rudd for 10th position, and as we've pointed out and said before, Marcel and Binisley, they're just having their own little race, aren't they, to be fair?
yeah.
So it seems to me that Clive's kind of done what he needed to do 5 laps ago, and he's starting to possibly maybe make a bit of a gap from Ralph. Obviously, Pitts maybe deciding where these two come out.
Yeah, he'd like to think so, but I should imagine Ralph will be on his tail at the end of the straight into turn 1. Pretty sure Ralph won't let him break that.
Just looking on board with David Dorr at the moment in P3. That's not a bad position for...
Well, they're both in the pitch, the leaders. You can just see them going into... And there go 3 and 4 as well. So
yeah.
Battle of the mechanics now.
Yeah. And how complex is the pitting system? In can it make a difference if you get it right and if you get it wrong?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, again, a lot of it would depend on what they actually decide to do in the pits and how they decide to whether they want to take 2 or 4 tyres. That makes a huge difference. But yeah, hitting your marks in race room and just making sure you've got everything set. The good thing I don't think a lot of people know is as you go around the lap, you can actually, once you've got your pit strategy set, you press your button on your steering wheel, it lets the pits know, and the more advanced notice you give them, the more you can get your pit stop done when you actually arrive in the box. So
love it.
Help.
Love it. So there's Clive. He's coming out of pits, and I think he's got a mighty. Yeah, he's got a mighty lead over Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well. Yeah, it speaks for itself there, doesn't it? I think Ralph was still stationary as Clive was leaving, and that's a 2-second gap now. But psychologically, that's going to hurt a little bit. But
and also, another mistake you can make in the pits is coming off the limits too soon. Because I've seen a couple of drivers actually get done for a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pits. Yeah, and I think we got another there.
And that's the worst. 30, driving through the pits for something like that is a real killer.
I mean, still, at least it's not the endurance layout at Spa-Francorchamps where the pit lane is the best part of a mile.
And it's not the 30-second stop and go you get in ACC, because that is just the worst. That is a proper shaft of that one. It is literally just a drive through here, but I know in ACC, you have to stop for 30 seconds. So thank God it isn't that.
Yeah.
It's the harshest penalty of all time, that one. Pinpoint seems to find a nice bit of empty track, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a lovely little gap there in front of him between himself and Dirk Gretschel in 10th, and as well behind him to Ross Hayden. So, yeah, he should be able to get the hammer down a bit, much the same way that Clive Britton's been putting the hammer down as well to try and pull out an even bigger lead on second place.
Just seeing Nico in chat there, just asking if all the cars pitted at the same time. It was the middle of the race, so it was the optimal time to get off those medium tyres. It looks like most of them have gone back onto the mediums as well. But yeah, literally like 1 to 6 at least all came in together. So
if I was Jack Camiletto and I'd been starting on the hard tyres, one thing I would be considering doing is actually maybe go as long as I can, maybe 40 minutes into the race on the hards, come in, put the softs on, and then just absolutely send it as hard as possible for the last 20 minutes of the race.
Well, I noticed David Dawes currently sat in 3rd in race 1. He used a soft tyre for 20 minutes. In this race, he's gone medium, so he obviously realised that the softs just died at the end of race 1 and went the medium route.
I find it fascinating how much, you're absolutely right with that pit stop, because that one series of pit stops, I mean, the grid before the pits were quite clumped up, and we're now looking at gaps of 2 to 5 seconds on average between the guys.
About 4 seconds down Binno, and they were
Yeah,
fairly close. Actually, Binno's got past Marcel Lecken as well, so slight change. I know they came out of the pits, Lecken, Binnersley, but now Binnersley, Lecken.
Yeah, and this is something that RWB Rigel won't want to see. Mr. Camaletto was a good 5-6 seconds behind him. He's taken that gap from pitting down to a 1.5 seconds.
I'm coming.
So, yeah, he certainly is coming. He certainly is coming on lap 12. Klaus looks like he's gaining a little bit on Mr. Dorr.
But Clive, obviously, what he needs to do in that first stint, got past Ralph, made the pit stop work, and yeah, 2.5 seconds now. That won't break Ralph, but it'll be a slightly depressing cockpit in Arella's car there, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Just trying to make 2.5 seconds doesn't seem much, but you saw how close they were racing earlier. That will take forever to get that back.
Yeah. Just looking at Matt Hodgson, he's come into the pits. Now, is this changing over from... No, that's just... I wonder if he had a drive-through.
Yeah, I think he was one of the drivers who got a drive-through penalty for speeding in pit lane.
That's a shame. And this is also a shame. Mr. Burley looks like he's retired his car, or not. Hold on a second. It was showing as he'd retired, but...
Yeah, if the car's parked at an angle, he's out of the race. If it's in a straight line, he's still in.
Right. The odd thing was, on the stream, it was parked at an angle, but then it zoomed back to the racetrack.
Let me have a quick look. Justin Burley. Yeah, he's out, unfortunately.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's going to charge out of the race, unfortunately.
Right, okay.
For a brief moment, we thought he'd broken the space-time continuum.
It did look like he had, didn't it? I'm going to have to shove you lovely lads on to Auto Director very quickly, as I have a very upset child upstairs I need to go to. So have fun, lads, and I'll be back in a bit.
Obviously a Camaletto supporter.
Yeah, obviously a Camaletto supporter, having just seen, having witnessed the opening 5 minutes of the race for Jack, but he is making good progress so far through the field. He's already halfway back up to the front, so...
It's Dorr and Schneider, they're probably the two closest on track at the moment. David Dorr in third, Schneider in fourth. Dorr in that blue Mercedes, obviously Mercedes. Schneider in the white D2 livery.
The livery which everyone just associates with another driver with the surname Schneider, Mr. DTM himself, Bernd Schneider.
I'll be honest, Klaus joined RRL about a year ago, raced in our DTM 92 series, and then I don't think he's raced anything else, and then when this came up he was literally there, so he's obviously keeping a touch on our Discord to look, and as soon as this came up he was in, and you can see why. He's obviously knows how to nail these cars as well.
Yeah, it's David Dorr running a little bit wide there at the penultimate corner, getting a slow down penalty, so that's going to put things even more into Klaus's favour.
Yeah, the good thing about Raceroom is you can't, the slow down penalty, you can only really take it on the straights. As soon as you get into the corners, it doesn't allow you to use that time as slow down. So you do lose it in the worst places, which is the right thing, because that's where you should slow down. It would be unfair to have that in the corners, but yeah, unfortunately, it really does hurt to slow down.
Would be interesting to see how it's implemented at somewhere where the DTM actually ran the big Class 1s in real life back in 1993 at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, as Klaus gets a massive slipstream on David Dorr and gets the position there on the brakes into turn 3.
Yeah, he did make it work. Sorry. Oh, David almost lost it there on the exit. A bit like the Camaletto did earlier in the race, but manages to keep it together. But he has lost a second and a half or so on Schneider, as Schneider now retakes that position.
Yeah, it's going to be good news for Rick Binnersley as well.
Unfortunately for Rigel, he's just entered the Camaletto zone.
And let's Camaletto have the inside there, just about still in front. Hard on the brakes for tricky left-hander, and then into the carousel now. Long.
Very quick through here as well, so I should imagine by the time they come out of it, Rigel will have him. Oh, he's done all right there, actually, Rigel, to be fair.
Yeah, through the kink now. Just about flat in these cars, and Camaletto absolutely using all the circuit and what little track limits there are on that part of the track, given that the track limits are either green and on the ground or made of concrete.
He really needs to be up Rigel's chuff as they go through the final corner here.
Yeah. Keeps it tidy, hard on the brakes. Looks like he's done. He might have just done enough there, I think.
Yeah, I think Rigel's going to lose this place now. If I was, too late. I'm going to say if I was Rigel, I'd stick it down the inside, but Jack's already got his front wing there, but not making the progress he thought. I mean, I know you can't change the settings on these, but obviously they're running the same wing there. Jack's leaving there. Nice driving Rigel. These two old foes in different series throughout the years, so they know each other's how each other races. So they're used to this.
Yeah, it's been absolutely cracking battle so far. I think they might actually. Yeah, Jack's still in the slipstream of Rigel. He pulls out again. That's also looks fairly early. It's quite a tricky braking zone, this one. It is downhill. But
Really
Camaletto,
get the inside line into this corner,
as Camaletto himself demonstrates, by sending it and getting the position from RWB Rigel, which means Jack Camaletto is now in 8th place overall. I'm looking at this battle between Nigel Wood and Rude Dennis for 14th place. Currently on board with Nigel at the moment in a camera mounted in the grille of the Mercedes.
The camera's too scared to look behind because he knows how close Rude Dennis was.
Yeah, camera director probably just took one look at it and went, no, you're all right, thanks.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, nah, looks a little bit too scary for my liking. Nah, yeah, got to keep it PG and that, etc., etc.
that second that he lost on the exit of turn 3, and he's now back with Schneider, so those two carrying on their bromance.
Yeah.
Still 2.5 seconds between Britain and Lorella out front. Like I said, that I did think that would be a 10th every 2 laps sort of thing, and that's what it turns out to be. Clive and Ralph are pretty much time for time at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be, unless Clive makes a mistake, which really looks very unlikely.
Second, to be fair. I'm just watching the times. He was 2.5, now he's down to 2, so he's obviously made a bit of an error somewhere.
Yeah. Sparks getting kicks up as well. Back in an era where, of course, as we said earlier on in the stream, these were, at the time, the most high-tech racing cars anywhere in the world. Such was the amount of electrical driver aids on these cars, of course, most of which had been banned in Formula 1 for a couple of seasons at this point. So they were pretty cool bits of kit to see being hurled around tracks like the Norris Ring, Hockenheim, Nürburgring, Diepholz as well. Diepholz, former airfield circuit that was...
Just thinking, they do have traction control. Remember in the chat they were having earlier in the week about whether they would turn the traction control off completely on the qualifying laps just to get the times in. So you're right, they do have those technological aids in them.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. Although I seem to remember watching something on YouTube with Keke Rosberg, who was racing for Opel at the time in the Calibra, and he said that we have ABS, but I do prefer racing without it, just because you can brake later. The main disadvantage with ABS, okay, yeah, you don't lock the wheels, but it extends your braking distances a little bit as well.
do with the auto director having a look at Rigel and Gretchen. Those two are. Oh, there we go. Thank you very
Yep.
much. Thank you.
Got the auto director.
Never worked. Alexa, choose Rigel.
Hey Siri.
Yeah.
Other voice activated.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Technological things are available. One should hasten to add.
Oh, now Schneider and Dora getting it on.
Yeah.
Trying to put the inside into 2.
Yeah.
There's 2. As I said, carrying on their little romance, and David Dorr in that slipstream of Schneider. Schneider will try and keep it to the inside, but Dorr's managed to get it up there. Can he keep it there? Schneider round the outside. The two go bump.
A little tiny bit of contact there, maybe side to side.
Puddle. Cheers, race director. Thank you.
Yeah, straight into the battle between Marcel Lurken and Rick Binnersley for 5th place in the Dime-sponsored car. I should add.
Schneider and Dorr were still side by side as they went into the carousel. So those two are... Schneider's finally got ahead of Dorr, so Dorr slipped back in behind him. So that's third and fourth sorted for a little while. Binnersley and Lecken about to go through the same thing here. Ralph's got it under 2 seconds just now, 1.9.
Now back to
Wood.
Dirk Gretschel and Nigel Woods.
Wow. Those brake discs were screaming there, weren't they? Wow.
Yeah, they were indeed. And a D2 liveried car there doing, as I say, holding on around the outside. We think, because we've gone to back to Rick and Marcel for 5th. And now back to Nigel and Dirk again.
Oh, David Dorr's got to slow down. That's not going to help him.
Nah, it shouldn't make too much difference, I'd have thought, given that Rick's 6.2, 6.3 seconds behind, although he's catching
the battle with Schneider.
fair.
Mind you, where's that gone? There's only 2 minutes left. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm 1 minute. I think it's still saying 21 or so minutes left. So
trust me, guys, on the server, it's just flicking over to 2 minutes now. So it'll be this and one more lap.
Oh, right, okay. So I think I might be seeing something a little bit different on my stream. I think on my end, it's been put into the server that the race is an hour when it's actually 40 minutes.
And it's slightly out by 20 minutes, but I can guarantee they are just about to start the last lap.
Okay. So we've got I thought we had another 20 minutes of this. Not that I would have minded in the slightest, because it's been absolutely cracking racing. It's almost been like watching DTM back in what was arguably its heyday, which this was in terms of performance. So one hell of an era, and of course, after the original DTM folded at the end of 1996, the current series still to this day has been refused full Meisterschaft status from...
What a catch! Oh my God! I bet his arms will hurt after that one tonight. Wow!
Yeah, that'd be. He'd be needing more than a beer after that.
Well, if he's got a direct drive wheel, he needs to go and see someone tomorrow, because he will need a massage from hell.
He'll be on the phone to the chiropractors first thing, 9 o'clock.
Clive Britton's just crossed the line to start the final lap. Ralph's got it down to 1.3, but that might be a universe away from Clive, 1 lap to go. Yeah. Clive's pretty much got this wrapped up now, mistakes apart. Sorry, Clive, I'm only trying to do the old commentator's curse on you, you know that. Love you to bits, mate, love you to bits. Oh, Audi and Camaletto. Jack looking to get up into 7th place. Audi's taking a defensive line up the inside, and race director thinks we should look at Schneider and Dorr.
again. But yeah,
Cameletto's managed to make it past Audi up to 7th in turn 2. So Jack continuing his recovery.
Door taking a very wise line on the way in there.
He's got to try everything, David Dorr. Only a few more overtaking opportunities to go. That was one of them.
Maybe 3. Although, mind you, I have seen drivers win the race in a drag race on the pit straight before. That's happened with Robin Liddell in the Michelin Pilot Challenge a year or 2 ago now. And that was because a driver accidentally hit the pit lane speed limiter when trying to hit the flashers button.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And in the rain, trying to flash headlights to the pit crew, all of a sudden slowed, and Liddell kept his foot in, darted out from behind the slipstream, and by less than 1/10 of a second won the race.
Oh,
wow. The weather at Road America can be quite unpredictable, to say the least. I remember on one occasion
through the final corner.
Yep.
He is going to take race 2. Clive Britton's going to go up the hill, across the line for his first win in the series. Clive Britton wins from Arella. You're watching the battle between Schneider and Dorr. Those two battling out all race for 3rd and 4th. That's how it's going to finish, though. Schneider and Dorr, 3rd and 4th. Binot and Marcel Lecken, 5th and 6th. Rick having a bit of fun as he crosses the line. Showing
tyre pickup.
Yeah.
Tyre pickup a little bit. Add another couple of mil to the ride height, just so you can add a little bit of weight onto the car, just so you can, just in case it's a little bit too finer margins with the stewards.
What could have been for Jack Camoletto, come home in 7th.
Yeah.
Leading the race from Arella. Spun at turn 3. We'll have to hear the story of that one after the race, just to see what happened. I don't think Ralph touched him, but that pushed Jack all the way down to 18th, back to 7th. Audi there chased him all the way home, really pressured Jack Camoletto on that last lap, I noticed, for 8th position. Rigel, Pinpoint, Maddow, Ross Hayden, nice drive from him up to 12th. Nigel Wood had some action you saw earlier on with Gretschel, Rude Dennis, RWB Alwyn down there as well, John D. Matt Hodgson coming home again. Fair play, Matt. Nice to see you down there. RWB Marco, Rich Jones, Justin Burley, Charger, both failed to finish, unfortunately, guys. And that's your top 20.
Yeah, cheers. It's been absolutely cracking fun tonight, commentating on, well, first of all, a race that's not actually on Assetto Corsa Competizione as well. A race with touring cars, a race at Road America, which who knows whether we're going to see this added to ACC as well in a future update. We shall see. With regards to that.
Cracking race. I mean, that 40 minutes went almost as quick as the 20 in the first race.
Yeah, I know. It's the races do seem incredibly short when you're commentating on them. I can confirm that, especially Bathurst, which was 12 hours. And it certainly didn't feel like a 12-hour race.
Just to confirm there, pace of Jack Camoletto, the only guy in the 206s. Picks up that fastest lap in race 2. So nice going for Jack. But unfortunately for him, Clive Britton run away with that race right away. So Camoletto and Britton will be, I'm guessing, leading the championship going into round 2.
I'd imagine Britton would be leading from Arilla, because Arilla came 3rd in race 1, so he's currently on 3rd and a 2nd, and of course, Camoletto had that unfortunate little off earlier, and to get 7th place, though, given the circumstances, is still not to be sniffed at all. If you want a lesson in damage limitation, then, well, there you have it.
Exactly, yeah, that's it was a good comeback, and that will help Jack, obviously, in the later races, those points picking up, because I'm guaranteeing the other 3 rounds I don't think it'll be quite as simple as that for all those guys. The other tracks, not Road America, we've just been to Road America, Watkins Glen. I should imagine it'll be similar to this, because that's another very quick track.
Massively quick. In fact, I think, if I remember correctly, it's certainly one of the fastest, if not, it might actually be the fastest track we go to in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship in real life. In fact, I can actually have a little look to see if I can find my spreadsheet on it on my phone.
I'm just trying to think, in the FR3s, I think there were 4 braking events. So you had into turn 1, and then you didn't brake again until if you went through the boot section, like that part when you go round the heel bit, and then literally as you come out of that section as well, there was literally 3 or 4 braking events, which is mental for a course that's like that long.
Yeah,
that's how quick it is.
I stand corrected. The fastest track on the IMSA schedule normally is Motorsport in Canada, but Watkins Glen is still a close second. So that's how quick it is. The lap record at the time in when I was working this out in 2020, the pole record from 2019 was done at an average of 138.5 miles an hour, and at Motorsport it was 140.1 miles an hour. So Road America, for reference, was 130. It was a little bit slower, 134.03 miles an hour average. So still phenomenally quick circuits nonetheless.
Guys, just a bit of admin. If you've watched the stream so far, please show us you like us by giving a big thumbs up for us. It does help us, our ego.
Yeah, and with that being said, are there any upcoming events on RRL side to you'd like to promote?
We have a little break over Christmas. Obviously, we've got the DTMs with you guys. We have a little break over Christmas, and there's a ACC series style, another collab with another community in the new year, which will show us starting off with a 6-hour endurance around Kyalami. So there's a lot of enduros going around at the moment. I've noticed everyone's getting their little race in. I think there'll be a lot of knackered drivers come the new year. So
yeah, it's funny you mentioned Kyalami and endurance races, as RWB International have the final round of their endurance championship. Tomorrow afternoon, the 9 hours of Kyalami. So that's going to be incredibly good fun as well. And
I almost fed you into that, wasn't it? I fed you.
Yeah, fantastic segue there into the upcoming RWB International Kyalami 9 hours. Will be broadcast live tomorrow with full commentary and everything as well.
Apologies for missing the start of race 2. Sorry about that.
No worries, Nate. No worries at all, mate.
We'll appreciate it, because I know there was some wreckage at the back, and the guys at the front didn't miss anything, so they'll let you off. Don't worry, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, my thanks to Martin, to Debug, to Nate for hosting the stream, and from me, myself, Rob Lomas, it's bye for now.